Well, if Donald Trump were president, none of this would be happening, plain and clear. Wouldn't be in Ukraine, we wouldn't have those problems, and we wouldn't have the situation we do in the Middle East. But let me segue away from politics. And as an appropriator, as a senior appropriator, and a strong supporter of Israel, condemn the Iranian attack unequivocally. There's been over 100, maybe as close to 200 missiles fired at Israel. We have got to put this in perspective. The gentleman who just spoke dealt very well with the factual details. The bottom line is we have an administration, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, that has left the Middle East in a situation of despair. There's no respect for the White House right now. We have got to, as the strongest democracy and Israel's only true ally in the world, stand up, condemn what Iran is doing, make sure that Israel has every tool at its disposal to defend itself. This is an outrage that the Jewish state is under attack again today. Rest assured, Israel will respond several-fold in kind, and make sure that these things don't happen again.
Well, let's be specific, Congressman, and we'd love your thoughts on what we do need to give Israel to succeed. Is there another weapon system? Is there something that they haven't already received from the United States that could help to stop this?
So appreciate the question. As you recall, probably about 4 or 5 years ago, I was the member on the House floor that basically saved the Iron Dome for Israel. The Squad and the Democrats were trying to do away with it in an NDAA bill. The Democratic leadership was lying about it, and then a member of the Squad got up on the floor and said, no, they were trying to do away with it. She was wrong, but she was telling the truth. And I condemned them then, and we saved Iron Dome. Iron Dome is critically important. As we hear that these missiles are being knocked down, they're being knocked down by a technology that is a purely defensive technology. It's about 90% successful. In addition to that, I do think we need to keep a military presence in the region. We are doing that. And I think we need to make sure that our allies in the Middle East that were part of the Abrams Accord, the Egyptians and other people who are friendly to the United States, the Jordanians, understand and unequivocally condemn Iran for this attack, this egregious attack on Israel. Israel has been under attack since October 7th, actually before, if you look at the rockets that have been flying in. But since October 7th, the world should condemn radical Islamic terrorism against Israel. The world did not do that. It was very tepid in their criticism. There needs to be international condemnation of Iran for what it is doing to Israel right now. Again, rest assured, Israel has the wherewithal to fight, will defend itself, and will beat its aggressors.
Just to bring the latest headlines to our audience here on Bloomberg TV and radio, Jordan is now saying that it has temporarily closed its airspace, and Iraq, according to Samaria TV, has closed its airspace as well, as we continue to see this attack ongoing. Congressman, you, of course, sit on the Appropriations Committee. You and your colleagues are not currently in Washington, not planning to return until November. Do you think there could be a need for a special session, to return to Washington to address potential supplemental funding that could be needed for Israel, or for that matter, to address the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, which has affected your district?
It's an excellent question. Let me address the latter first. On Hurricane Helene, which did impact not only the great state of Tennessee, but our friends and neighbors, North Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. In the continuing resolution, which I voted for, I always vote to keep the government open. This is why we need to keep the government open. I can't stress that enough. But we allowed a drawdown of about $20 billion worth of funds for FEMA. So they've got a pool of money that is available to them immediately. In addition, in that same CR, we've allowed some non-disaster funds to be able to be used by FEMA. So I think they should be okay. They will react to this and have, fortunately, our state has been declared a disaster area, so FEMA funds will be available. In regard to the Middle East and to defense, one of the reasons we need to get a budget passed, and I sit on the Defense Appropriations Subcommittee. As you know, I chair the Energy and Water Subcommittee, but I sit on defense appropriations. This is why we need to get a robust defense budget passed so that our troops have the munitions to do their job. have the resources to do their job, whether it's the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, Space Force. It is critically important that we fund the government. I'd like to see that done by December 20th, but the reality is we may have to come back. I'm willing to come back and do whatever is necessary, but on the disaster side, there should be more than enough resources available based on the terms of the continuing resolution that we just passed into law.
As we spend time with Congressman Chuck Fleischmann of Tennessee, new headlines crossing the terminal now. Israel says it has closed its airspace following an attack by Iran. Jordan also temporarily closing its airspace as we keep an eye on the nighttime skyline in Jerusalem right now. Congressman, does that go for military funding as well? Because there were a lot of defense hawks in the House who had an allergy to this idea of an extended CR. It could have brought us into March, for instance, which would have essentially resulted in a pay cut for the Pentagon here. Kayleigh's asking about the potential for a special session. Can that wait till the lame duck? When do you handle all this?
An excellent question. I consider myself a defense hawk and a budget hawk. I want to see our discretionary dollars on that appropriators put out, whether it's on defense or any of the 12 subcommittees, including mine on energy and water, money spent well and money spent wisely. We've got some major decisions to make before December 20th.
Yeah.
First and foremost, what would be the top end number? The House is a lower number, and I respect that, to the FRA. The Senate is $100 billion over that. So that's a big stumbling point.
Yeah.
The reality is we need to address this